Okay, so now it is time to check out the OnePlus 9R and the box that it comes in. So here we see it is bright red and rather large. There's really not a lot except for very minimalist branding. Here we see 5G appended to the name and a few basic details on the back. So all that's left to do now is to pop open the box. So as we lift the lid off, some more branding becomes visible. And this is the phone itself right on top. The version that we have is called Lake Blue, which is a very pale blue color. I'm going to put that down and just look at what else there is in the box. So this compartment seems to have some stuff in it. A simple plastic case with the company's slogan on it. A bunch of stickers, if you're a fan of the brand. Some paperwork. The SIM eject pin. This seems to be something that can be opened. And it's a message from the CEO of OnePlus. And here we have card to promote the company's loyalty club. Here we have a very familiar looking charger, except that this one supports 65-watt charging. And of course the company's signature red cable. So there appears to be nothing else in the box. We can put all of this aside and focus on the phone itself. So now I'm going to peel off this final plastic protective layer. And here is the OnePlus 9R for the first time in Lake Blue. The other color option is called Carbon Black and it has a slightly different texture. This is completely smooth and very glossy, except for the metallic finish of this protruding camera module. So let's power that on and let's just take a little look around this phone while we're waiting for it to come on. So of course we have the cameras on the back. Now there's a 48 megapixel primary camera and a 16 megapixel wide angle camera along with a 5 megapixel macro camera and a much simpler 2 megapixel black and white filter camera. On this side we have the standard alert slider which lets you switch between sound profiles. This is a simple power and standby button and the volume buttons are on the other side. The top only has a secondary microphone and on the bottom we have the USB Type-C port, one of the two stereo speakers and a tray. Let's just have a look at this tray, and what we can see here is that there's a slot for a nano SIM on either side. So this is a dual SIM phone with no micro SD expansion, which is pretty typical for OnePlus. And you can see this red rubber gasket around the edge, which should help with waterproofing. So now let's quickly run through the setup process. So you can choose between gestures and standard on-screen buttons during the setup process itself, and you'll be taken through a quick tutorial if you choose gestures. And that appears to be it. We're ready to go. So here we have OnePlus's Oxygen OS, which is also one of the hallmarks of the brand. And now we can talk a bit more about the specifications of this phone. So on the front we have a 6.55-inch Full HD Plus Fluid AMOLED screen. This has a 120Hz maximum refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling rate. For the processor, OnePlus has gone with Qualcomm Snapdragon 870, which is not quite as powerful as the current flagship Snapdragon 888, but should be more than powerful enough for most people and whatever games you want to run. And OnePlus also says it has used a pretty elaborate cooling system with multiple temperature sensors. So there are stereo speakers at the bottom and the top, You get either 8GB or 12GB of RAM and either 128 or 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage. There's 65 watt fast charging as we saw with the bundled charger.